against Bush?
Is David Bronze. What is your affiliation, Dave?
I'm with Common Cause.
And what does that organization do?
It's an anarchist organization, provincial anarchist organization.
And why are you in the rally today?
Well, obviously I'm against Canadian imperialism in Afghanistan.
What do you hope this rally would achieve?
I'm not really sure that it's going to achieve a whole lot, other than making obvious that a lot of people are opposed to this war.
What is the message you hope to send?
Message? I guess my opposition to Canadian imperialism and the occupation.
Right, and what role do you think Canada's anarchists play in the opposition to the war?
Well, I think, we're kind of like sort of uncredited, I guess, in a way. People tend to, there was a lot of speeches today by the NDP and stuff, which I think was unfortunate. There should have been more representation from more radical perspectives.
And what do you think would be the message if you were on that podium?
It would have been more of an anti-imperialist message, kind of like pointing out linking the suppression of dissent and the the kind of policies like the so-called anti-terror legislation, which repression of civil liberties and so on. It's all linked to the war in Afghanistan. So-called anti-terror legislation.
I'm Abla Abdul-Hadi. I'm here with Act for the Earth to oppose the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq.
What is the message you want to send with this rally?
The message I want to send to
the people of Afghanistan.
People of Afghanistan is that the people of Canada are not all behind this war. We are opposed to this war. This is not in our name. This is not the way to bring democracy to other people. This is an imperial US war, and Canadians are not behind this mission.
Now, Abla, I've noticed that you're not on Parliament Hill. You're standing just outside of it. Can you tell us why?
I'm not allowed on Parliament Hill because I was involved in a protest to save Kyoto for the environmental action, Global Day of Action to save the environment, and because we tried to communicate to the Prime Minister our dismay with his actions for the environment. Our conditions are we are not allowed to go on Parliament Hill today.
Right. Now, I've noticed that there is a far smaller police presence at this rally today than there is at normal anti-authoritarian rallies. Can you speak a little bit about that?
I would say they probably know, because what kind of protest this is going to be, what we're going to do. They knew the routes. So, and I think the police know different activists and they know different routes, so they know what to expect, what kind of activism to expect. So they're probably just here to make sure we don't stop traffic.
Okay.
And it's not as, they don't find it threatening, because this is not really a militant action, it's not a disruptive action, we're just here to voice our opinions.
Great, and in your opinion, do you think Canada has had a right to be in Afghanistan in the first place?
Definitely not. Canada should not have gone. This is not a mission to help the people of Afghanistan or the women of Afghanistan. If we listen to people like Malala Joya, the MP who was fired from her job for speaking out against the war in Afghanistan, we should be supporting grassroots efforts, women's organizations working on human rights there. It's the women of Afghanistan who need to fight for their own rights. This is not our job to go and help people. It's not the way human rights work. You don't bring human rights with bombs and gun work. You don't bring human rights with bombs and guns.
People to speak and educate ourselves to say what? What do we want? Peace! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Peace! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Peace! When do we want it?
Matthews, what's your affiliation, Paul?
I guess I've been with SCA and No More Pay in the past, but I haven't been so active recently.
And where are you right now?
We're on the Hill right now with many of my friends and colleagues who are protesting the war in Iraq. also the war in Afghanistan.
And why are you protesting this war?
Because I feel it's the least we can do, at the very least. The war and occupation is not benefiting the local population. It's an occupation that has no end in sight. The U.S. is building the biggest embassy in the world in Iraq, as we know, and they have no plans to leave. So these sort of imperialist wars that are for various geopolitical and economic reasons need to be resisted. I think any means necessary, and protesting is just one way for people to get together and show their solidarity with each other and show the politicians that we don't protesting.
My name is Nico Unire. I'm with Exile Info Shop. This is an interview for Rebel TV.
Great. Can you talk a little bit about what Exile is and what they do?
Exile is a collectively run anarchist / activist people in solidarity info shop. We sell books. We're a community space. We have a lending library, and we host events for awareness of what's going on in the world and
No More Pay Ottawa.
Hi Trevor, so can you talk a little bit about why you're here today?
Well, I'm here to show my opposition to what Canada is doing in Afghanistan with its military. I'm here to say that, like the vast majority of Canadians, I too believe that we should bring our troops home from that country and invest far more of our financial resources, human resources in building peace in that country rather than the aggressive campaign to fight until the end of days against an enemy that will likely never be defeated because it's made up of Afghani civilians who want justice in their country and who don't see the international community using the barrel of their guns to bring justice. All the international community is doing with the barrel of those guns is bringing death and destruction, and the average Afghani's life is not improving, and those guns is bringing death and destruction.
Hi, my name is Matt Nelson. I'm with the Student Coalition Against War at Carleton University, and I'm here to protest the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. They're horrible.
Right. Now, what is the main message of this rally?
The main message is peace and basically trying to unravel some of the falsehoods behind the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. People aren't really grasping some of the key things that our politicians are lying about, such as women's rights, reconstruction, democracy. These things are not on the table for the occupying forces, essentially. These things need to get out so they can be informed democracy.
And if you were to send a message to most Canadians, what would it be?
End it, don't extend it. We have to organize nationwide, globally, against the war of terrorism, I like to call it, because that's essentially what it is. Aerial bombardment in Afghanistan is sending people to the arms of the Taliban. This will not prevent terrorism. This does nothing but exacerbate the current conflict in Afghanistan that's been going on for aerial bombardment in Afghanistan is...